Hey, what's up guys, Nick here. Today's video will be having a bit of a look back on my legendary Halo playthrough. If you didn't know, over the last 2 months or so, which is kind of crazy to think about, for the last 2 months, every single week I've been playing a brand new Halo campaign. But I went through every Halo FPS game on Legendary by myself in a bit of a journey to become a real Halo fan. I've been playing Halo for 10 years, but for all this time, I never went through any of the campaigns by myself on the hardest difficulty, so I kind of made the challenge and took it upon myself to change that over the past few weeks. So now that I've completed this challenge, I've done every campaign on Legendary by myself, I thought it's only right that I do a bit of a recap to kind of let you guys know what I personally think is the hardest and the easiest Halo campaigns on Legendary. So of course, I need to give a warning, this is my opinion. If you think differently, feel free to drop some comments down below listing your easiest to hardest Halo campaign on Legendary. Keep in mind, this is all about Legendary. This isn't just the campaign. This is talking about on the hardest difficulty, so keep that in mind whenever you're making your list. And keep in mind, this is just the FPS campaign, so no Halo Wars or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get into this list. We're starting at number 7, which is the easiest Halo game on Legendary, in my opinion. Okay, coming in at number 7 has got to be Halo 3 ODST. This, out of all the Halo FPS games, is kind of the weirdest one, as it's the only one where you don't play as a Spartan. You play as obviously an ODST, so things are going to be very different in this game. It's not going to be your regular Halo experience, but it's also one of the reasons why I love this game so much. It might be the easiest in my opinion, but it does not mean that I don't enjoy it whatsoever. I absolutely adore this campaign. But Halo 3 ODST took me the least amount of time and also the least amount of deaths out of all the different Halo games that I played. So this one I had the easiest time with. I did not struggle with that much. I say that there were sections where I might have got a little bit frustrated or died a few times, but it is Legendary in the end of the day. No matter if it is the easiest Halo game on Legendary, there's always going to be certain sections that I do struggle with that I might have to die a few times before I get through. But all in all, it felt like a nice walk in the park compared to the other games. It felt like the easiest game by far. There was no contest whether this was the easiest one or not. It was a very, very obvious answer. So if any of you guys want to play a Halo game on Legendary and kind of have a nice easy way into it, ODST is the best place to start for sure. For me personally, the hardest part of the entire game was the Scarab section. I don't know why, but that part just frustrated the life out of me. I kept dying over and over again in the dumbest ways. It was either that or maybe the highway at the end of the game where there was just loads of enemies to try and deal with, but besides that, it really wasn't that much of a struggle. This shit's annoying. Oh man. Can't script that, yeah. Yeah. Bro! Leave me alone! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, seriously? Okay, coming in at number 6 has got to be Halo 3, so we're going from ODST backwards 1 to Halo 3. This is definitely the second easiest game, as it only took me about an hour longer than ODST, and I died not that many more times than ODST as well. So ODST and Halo 3 were pretty neck and neck, but I guess the only difference is I had a lot more experience playing through Halo 3, so I guess that experience maybe helped me during my playthrough. But again, this was not that much of a challenge. Halo 3 is not that difficult on Legendary, which kind of surprised me. I thought it would be a lot harder, but the only real difficulties that I had playing through the game was dealing with the dumb AI. Sometimes the AI, even the friendly ones in this game, are ridiculous. At one stage I even had a brute that flew off the map, off the battlefield, and kind of hid somewhere away from me, and I had to go find him. Like, I literally had to go looking for this brute just to kill him. As I was playing through, people were warning me about Cortana, that it was going to be very, very difficult, and honestly, whenever I got there, all I did was run through the mission, and that was it. It really wasn't that difficult. When it comes to Cortana, all you do is run backwards, shoot your gun at the flood that are getting too close to you, and kind of move that way, so I didn't have that much issue with it whatsoever. But Halo 3 is actually my second favorite Halo campaign, so of course, I had an absolute blast going through it anyway, and the fact that it didn't take me that long and it wasn't that hard was a bit of a bonus, because it was basically just a free ride getting through that game on Legendary. So I'll play my favorite clip from that playthrough, and then we'll get on to number 5. Bruh. There's no... I don't understand. Are you actually kidding me? Look at this guy! Look at him! I'm so lucky to have found him. I am so lucky to have spotted that. But they didn't lock onto him. Nice. Oh god. See you. Alright, coming in at number 5, of course, has to be Halo 5. It's kind of perfect. Halo 5 was basically right bang in the middle of being kind of hard and also kind of easy at the same time. There are sections of that game that are just ridiculously easy that you can just kind of run through, not really have that much trouble with. Then there's other sections where there's just so many enemies being thrown at you that it just feels absolutely ridiculous. The main problem with Halo 5 and also Halo 4, I'll talk about it a bit more whenever I get onto that game, but the main problem with those games is that the enemies are such bullet sponges that it gets very repetitive and very frustrating after a certain amount of time. So it's not necessarily a difficult game, it's just a little bit mind-numbing to get through at times because the enemies just seem to never go down after so many bullets you put into them. And don't even get me started on your AI teammates. I don't think I've ever in my life played with worst AI in a game ever in my life. I could be there dying on the ground right next to Buck and he's sitting looking at the moon in the sky wondering what's going on and having no idea that I'm there dying right next to him. So it took me about 9 hours to get through the game. That was 9 hours of hitting my teammates and also shooting numerous Warden Eternals over and over and over again until they all eventually died. So I'll play my favorite clip of Halo 5 right now. Hopefully I won't have to revisit that game for a very, very long time.
Copy, Arbiter.
Practice back. Watch out. Keep your distance. Get to the temple grounds.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd like to kill me, wouldn't you? Get away from me. Why do I talk so much shit, dude? It literally just gets me killed 99% of the time. I need to stop talking. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have Halo 4. The last two have been basically perfect placements on this list. But Halo 4 is where the frustration starts on this list for me. A lot of people told me that Halo 4 is the easiest Halo game on Legendary. That's going to be an absolute cakewalk. And I actually do enjoy Halo 4 as a game. And I would like to think I'm pretty good at the multiplayer in it. But for whatever reason, this campaign tested my limits. You guys should all know about the Uber Rage, and it came out in full force during my playthrough. Halo 5 suffered from the same issues as Halo 4, but maybe not quite as bad. Halo 4 isn't necessarily a difficult game, but what it does suffer from is lack of ammo and super ridiculously spongy enemies. As I said, Halo 5 kind of has this issue, but not as bad as Halo 4. There were so many situations where I was left with nothing but a bullet shot trying to kill Promethean Knights or something like that, and it was just a ridiculous situation where it felt really unfair. Whenever I uploaded my campaign highlight video for that, so many people were like, it's not hard, you're just bad at this game, and I'm like, try and deal with all these enemies with the most basic weapon in the game, please, I beg of you. I'm actually getting triggered thinking about that game because it made me that angry. It took me like 8 hours and 142 deaths, so it was a very stressful 8 hours. I do enjoy that campaign a lot. On Legendary though, it's just a slap in the face. It literally just beats you up for 8 hours. It's just very annoying. So I'll play my favorite rage clip from that playthrough, let you guys experience kind of what I was going through if you've not seen the video. It was a rough one, okay? I did not have fun at the end of that game. I was happy to be done with it. Revert checkpoint? There's no point. Fuck this! Dude, holy shit, I'm so fucking angry right now. Okay, coming in at number 3 has got to be Halo Reach. Reach is actually my personal favorite Halo campaign by far. I love the story, I love the characters, I love the missions, everything about it just makes a really fun game. So going into this one on Legendary, I was pretty scared because I knew that I was going to have fun, but also I knew it was going to be fairly difficult to get through. I was not wrong, it was a really hard game, but I still had probably the most fun out of any of the Legendary campaigns that I went through. The elites do so much damage and they take so long to kill, they take so many bullets, it is crazy. But it is different from Halo 4 and 5, it doesn't feel like they're a bullet sponge, it takes just enough to feel like it's Legendary, but not absolutely ridiculous. It took me just over 8 hours and 184 deaths to get through this game, so by the end I was very frustrated. I think what makes Halo Reach so difficult is that since every mission is so different, by the time you get to the end of the game, you're like mentally exhausted. Even though I was having a lot of fun for the first few hours, I found myself getting so cranky and just so annoyed by everything in the game because I was so sick of having all these different things to think about at once. But I guess that makes it a really good game because it's always giving you something new to do. It always feels like every mission is very fresh. I don't know if I have one mission that I would overall say is the most difficult ones, but a lot of the missions have sections of them that is just really annoying to get through. So Reach, I think, is a pretty solid 3rd place on this list. So I'll play my favorite clip from the playthrough and then we're on to the final 2. Yeah, rush me, stupid head. Oh my, that is terrifying. He's like a shark. Come eat me. You won't. Motherfucker. Oh, karma, dude! Suck your mum. Okay, we finally made it to number 2 on the list. What is it gonna be? There's obviously only 2 options left. Feel like I need some kind of drum roll. So coming in at number 2 on the list has got to be Halo Combat Evolved. That's right, Combat Evolved is number 2 on the list. The difference between it and Halo 2 are very, very small, as both games are ridiculously difficult. Honestly, both games are really, really difficult, but I feel like Halo Combat Evolved is ever so slightly easier. Not to say that it's easy at all, by the way. It is absolutely brutal. It is awful on Legendary. Okay, so first of all, the fact you have to get medkits to get your health back in this game makes it infinitely more difficult. The same with Halo Reach, I suppose, but in this game, I don't know why, but I felt like the entire game I was running about with 1 bar of health the entire game. So I had 1 bar of health and a bit of shield, and that was it. That's all I had to protect myself, which obviously meant that enemies were just shredding through me very, very fast, repeatedly, over and over again. My playthrough of this game took me 14 hours and 314 deaths in total, so you can probably tell how angry I was by the end of the game. The fact you can't kill the flood with a melee, the amount of times that I ran up to a flood trying to kill it with a melee and then nothing happening except its claw coming and hitting me in the face, was very annoying. I found that to be extremely frustrating, especially whenever I had no ammo in my weapons. I was completely screwed. The game is getting very, very old now, so the old physics of the vehicles kind of absolutely cucked me at certain stages. I actually crushed myself with my own Banshee whenever it literally barely touched me and completely set me back after a lot of struggle. That part really pissed me off. The same can be said for Combat Evolved multiplayer. If you even touch a warthog with your pinky, it will fling you across the map and kill you instantly. It is really, really bad. So that's signs of an old game, I guess. Not much can be done about that. Last but not least, the library. If I ever have to visit the library in real life, I'll instantly have PTSD and get like a cold sweat after playing through it on Combat Evolved. Everything about this mission is ridiculous, bullshit, should never be in a game, and I never ever want to play it ever again. Some of you guys out there have probably gone through it on Lasso, or you've done it on Legendary numerous times, but for someone like me who did it for my first time ever solo Legendary, it was like getting punched in the face repeatedly for over an hour, because that's how long it took me to beat it. It's repetitive, the flood are annoying to fight, it just is a constant barrage of just enemies and just everything bad in the world constantly flowing at you. The second I finished that mission, I felt probably the most relief I've ever felt from a Halo game. It was a really, really great feeling, but going through that mission, never again. Like, literally never again. So I'll play my favorite clip from the playthrough, and then we'll finally get on to number 1 on the list. So I keep the second nade, shoot that second guy. Alright, okay. I know what we have to do, I think. Oh, yikes. Oh, let's go, dude! Oh my god. So sweaty. Oh, holy shit. Alright guys, we finally made it to number 1. I'm trying to say we finally made it to number... Alright guys, I don't want to worry you, but I think I'm surrounded by some jackal snipers, so I gotta be quick with this last one because at any moment they could get me, alright? Coming in at number 1, of course, we have Halo 2. I want you guys to imagine Halo 2 as every nightmare you've ever had throughout your entire life forged together into one giant ball that is a game, shipped off to your home, put it in your Xbox, and then you're forced to play that repeatedly until you finally beat it. That is the best way that I can describe Halo 2 on Legendary, because it is the hardest thing that I have ever done in gaming. The enemies are so hard to kill, the levels are hard to get through because there's so many levels in Halo 2, it goes on forever. It actually took me slightly less time to beat it than Combat Evolved. It took me 12 hours versus Combat Evolved's 14 hours, but I got 367 deaths versus Combat Evolved's 314, so I died more in a less period of time. I'd never touched Halo 2 solo Legendary before this, so whenever people said, Nick, you better prepare yourself for Gravemind, okay? It'll change you as a person. They weren't kidding, they weren't joking, they were not over exaggerating. That level is literally the most bullshit thing I have ever played in my life. It's even worse than the library, which I didn't think was going to be possible. I thought after I did that, I was done. But Gravemind is the most unfair mission I think I've ever played in an FPS game ever. From the very beginning, you're dropped into getting shot by enemies. The first time I loaded up that mission during my first playthrough, I died in about 1 second. Like literally 1 second is how long I survived. The entire campaign is just one massive, long, grueling trail until you get to the very end, but the entire time, I had fun, strangely enough. Even though it was so difficult, it was so much fun playing through it because it felt like after each mission I had accomplished something, even though I had just beat one mission. I'd only ever played through the Halo 2 campaign once or twice before this, so this legendary playthrough definitely gave me a newfound appreciation for it. I absolutely love the Halo 2 campaign, but I don't know if I'll revisit it on Legendary anytime soon. I know it may sound like I'm over exaggerating about how hard this game is, but I found it so difficult, so it's a very, very well deserved #1 spot as the hardest Halo game on Legendary. It is brutal. So I'm gonna play my favorite clip from my Halo 2 playthrough, and then I'll come back and have a little chat with you guys.
What's the next mission? What the fuck? Oh my! Okay, everyone. We have 3 choices on what's going to happen next. 1. I somehow kill the white sworded elite. 2. The white sworded elite kills me. 3. Nick jumps out his window and never plays Halo ever again. Put in the chat what you think's going to happen. 1, 2, or 3. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. Oh, 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Ah! Number 1! Let's go, baby! Oh my god, I did it! Oh, 2 and 3, Nick! Oh! Yo, if you said number 1, you're a real one. Oh my god. Alright guys, this was my top 7 hardest Halo games on Legendary. If you think differently from my list, make sure you drop a comment down below letting me know what you think in order is the hardest Halo game. Or maybe you think the exact same as me. I don't know. Maybe my list is just completely weird and I'm just awful at Halo. But either way, I had an absolute blast going through all the different Halo games. So I hope you guys enjoyed the compilation videos that I made. Speaking of the compilation videos, I actually went ahead and made a YouTube playlist of all the different videos that I've made. So link to that is in the description down below. So if you want to go back and watch all the campaign videos in order in one little playlist that I've made for you, you just click that link and they'll always play through all the videos in order. So if you guys want to check out that playlist, I would really appreciate it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!